points? You want to point with your paintbrush? Well, let me get you another paintbrush.
Kimberly, we're going to pick out a poem to incorporate into your painting.
You can point with that if you want. Would you like to point with that?
Remember we're doing a piece on flowers.
Y, I ready? H-O-P. Let's try with just your finger. I really hope. I really hope my P-O. Poems. Look good on my painting. Okay, I really hope my poems look good on my painting. Okay, so you want to pick a poem to put on your painting? Okay, which one do you want? Here's one called Blooms of Joy and Trellis of Roses. Do you like either one of these? Blooms of Joy, you really like that one? And that's a good poem. Freely lovely flowers grow, spelling independence for their show. Petty problems flee when beautiful blooms I see. Sunlight glistens on dewy petals and flowers shine like bits of metal. Many flowers dance in the wind, teaching me to depend on God for my life, asking Him to end my strife. Teach me, Lord, how to bloom so my life shines for you. You typed that poem, didn't you? It's a nice one. The air of its sweet odor so fair, telling our senses spring is here, giving joy to all those near. Reaching down from above, God showed people His love by creating flowers so blue, heaven must be rejoicing too. That sounds like that's about bluebonnets. Is that about bluebonnets? Well, we have a lot of here in Texas during this time of year. I-L-O-V-E, I love. E-L-U-B-O-N-N. I love bluebonnets. Do you love bluebonnets?
Do you write these poems at home?
Mostly, but some I write other P-L-A-C-E-S. Some I write other places.
Okay. Now, do you type these on a computer?
On this board mostly.
Okay.
And Mom types them, but sometimes I type on my laptop. My laptop.
Is it hard? Is it hard for you to type on your laptop?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It is mostly awful.
Oh.
To do it by yourself.
Yeah.
To do it by yourself without somebody helping you.
Okay. All right, Kim, we're gonna start painting your canvas. We worked on it last week, and we have some colors here. So we're gonna add some more colors, okay? And then we're going to pick out a poem, and we're gonna find some images, and we'll glue them onto the canvas, okay? All right, you wanna grab your paintbrush? Grab your paintbrush. Let's figure out what colors we're gonna use today. Get you closer. Okay. We have yellow, red, or blue. So I want you to point to two colors. Not one, but two, okay? So the first color you want red and yellow, okay. Get your red. And your yellow. Now, let's choose 2 more. We have orange, green, or light purple. Let's see, I want you to point. Choose 2. Can you see that? Let's see. Okay. Light purple. And choose 1 more. Orange. Okay. Good. Good. I'm gonna get you a bigger brush. So let's rinse. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna get you a bigger brush real quick, okay? So we get bigger brush strokes. Let's see. Let's try this one. That's a big brush. Wanna try that one? Okay. We can come back to that one if you want to. Okay, let's get it a little wet. Okay, good. All right, which one do you want next? You want the red? No? Okay. Which one do you want next? Let's get red. Okay. Ooh, how pretty. Look how pretty. Yeah, there you go. Put a little bit more paint on there. We have a lot of paint on our brush. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Kim. Your glasses falling today. Good. Here, let me move this. Let's start moving it around. Let's see. Let's get some over there. Good. Good. Very nice. Okay, let's turn your brush over a little bit so we get the rest of the paint on that side. Okay? Good. Okay, ready? Let's pick another color. Which one do you want to choose? Choose a color. Yeah, which color do you want? Let's see. Let's do yellow. All right. Look at this corner. Look at this corner. It needs some paint. Good. Awesome. Get over here. Can you get over here? Good. Okay.
B U. Put tissue. You want to put some tissue
Okay,
in here?
we can do that. We can put some tissue paper on it.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Hit it with the brush. Good. You ready for blue? Okay. Here, let me get some glue going. Here, let's get some glue. No, not your hands, silly. Let's do the canvas. Where do you want the blue one? Right there? Okay, ready? Look at that, you're painting Miss Joey yellow. Get some glue under there for me. Can you put some glue right there? No, that's good. Here. Over here. Okay, we have pink. We have some more orange. We have blue. Okay, which one's next? Pink. Okay. You want pink? You want orange? Yes. I love it when you smile. Okay. Okay, we have to put some more glue down, okay? Let me see. My sprayer just doesn't want to work today. Alright, so we need to put more glue. You ready? Alright. Put it all over. Yeah. I know you want to do it by yourself. I'm just helping out just a little bit.
Which one do you want to listen to? You have your, take your brush. You can brush. You can do it point the brush you want. Country or here? Country or flute? Here. You want the flute? Okay. All right. We'll go play flute music. Put your brush back while you're waiting.
On here, I know your poem mentioned bluebonnets, so we'll pick out some bluebonnet images and we'll print them out just like we did the horses and just like we did the outer space poem, and we'll glue them to your canvas, okay? And then we'll glue your poems onto it too, okay? Alright, so I'm going to punch in flowers. I'm on Google Images. Alright. And I want you to tell me yes or no, okay? Do you need your glasses? You need your glasses? No? Okay. Alright. Can you see the pictures of the bluebonnets? There's a field of bluebonnets. Here's a field, and then there's a bluebonnet close-up. Okay, so we have some choices. We have a field of bluebonnets, or we have a close-up. A big bluebonnet. Do you want the big bluebonnet? No? Okay. You want a field of bluebonnets? Here's your yes or no board. Kim, do you want a field of bluebonnets? A whole bunch of them?
She signed yes.
Yes, there are pink roses. Do you want pink roses? Here's your yes or no board. Do you want pink roses? No. Do you want yellow roses? No. Do you want red roses? Here's your yes or no board, Tim. Here, we put it over here. Do you want red roses? Do you want red roses? Can you see them? Do you want yellow roses? What other color roses are there? There's white roses. Yes. Yes, you want white roses. White roses are beautiful. Okay, I'm going to punch in white roses. This one? Okay. Ooh, look at those. Okay. Yeah, there's a smile.
Until our daughter Kimberly was about 7 years old, she had no experience with assistive technology. Due to her inability to speak, her seizures and autistic problems, she was unable to speak more than a few words. But the main focus of speech therapy was just to be able to get her to speak. I had also attempted to teach Kim some sign language, but due to her manual dexterity problems, she was only able to sign 3 or 4 words. And so when she was 4 years old, we went to a place called the Institute for Achievement of Human Potential in Philadelphia, and there we learned some different techniques into how to help Kimberly. One of those was we taught her to read using the method outlined by Doug Bicklin in his book, How to Teach Your Baby to Read. And this involves showing Kimberly thousands of words, phrases, and homemade books over a 2-year period. Periodically, I would, quote, test Kimberly to see if she was really reading. I would show her 2 different words and ask her to pick, a particular word. And often she would get the right word with 100% accuracy. I began to pray how to use this ability of her to read to help her communicate. And one day this program came on Primetime Live about facilitated communication. And this was a communication technique that was used at Syracuse University under the direction of Dr. Doug Bicklin with autistic and other nonverbal individuals. And what it involved was giving hand support to the nonverbal individual, and he or she would type their own words with the facilitator giving them the physical assistance of holding their hand. And when I saw this, I immediately thought Kimberly would be able to do this because I knew she could read, and so I made our first board with poster board, copying down the computer QWERTY keyboard onto the poster board. And I sat down with Kimberly and I showed her, she first was spelling words that she already knew, and then eventually she was putting her own, by the end of that same day she was doing her own words and little phrases. And in time she was able to even do whole sentences, stories. She types now her own poetry and short stories. Then we continue to use facilitated communication. We got an Apple computer for home use with a large keyboard, and Kim was able to type some of her own work on the computer with assistance. When Kimberly was in first grade, her school speech therapist introduced her to the Big Mac switch, and which Kim was able to operate by herself, and she was able to, use this first time to answer yes and no questions independently by hitting the Big Mac switch. And a telekeyboard when she was in middle school, her aide assisted her with that. But mostly of her typing she did on the computer or her Link voice output machine at home with me as her facilitator. She also continued to communicate with the homemade boards with assistance of many different family members, friends, therapists, and teachers. When Kimberly was in middle school, the district switched to using PCs over Macs, but there didn't appear to be as many options for making the computer user-friendly for people with disabilities, other than this telekeys keyboard. So when our Apple computer home became old, we switched over to the PC because that's what the school was using. I found it not as easy to use as the Apple and have done very little with it technology-wise to help Kim, other than this keyboard, and so the telekeys board is still hard for Kim because it requires such a strong push and down on the keys, and so she's not able to use it independently very well. The problem I've had with assistive technology to make computer access easier for Kim, both at school and especially now at home as an adult, is having available technical support. Many times we or the school district purchase some device or some computer application with little or no instruction on how to use it effectively. Mostly it was left up to me or the teacher's aide to figure it out. I'm sure Kim could be more successful with independent access to computer technology if we could just get lengthy, qualified, hands-on technical support. I'm not computer savvy, I'm not a therapist, so I don't know how to operate these computers and disability programs to their full capabilities. If Kim could have a skilled therapist or teacher or instructor help her or me on how to fully access the equipment with proper adaptations for Kim's abilities and have available tech support when we run into problems, I know she would have a lot more success with using the computer independently. Currently, it's difficult for Kim to type even on her laptop without, independently, without my assistance, because usually she types her poetry or her writings on her paper board, and then I type them in on her computer for her. Kim does have a newer version of the Link, which gives a wonderful voice output as she types, but the Link has now been discontinued. We've just found out, and so there's not going to be tech support for it, and to help me with any kind of difficulties we have. Kim continues to use her Big Mac switches and like this to make yes and no and other independent choices, and she has these 8-choice device that she can make some choices independently, which are great for her to have some independence. But she enjoys the typing better because she's able to write her own words and her own thoughts, and rather than having pre-programmed choices. So she continues to use her boards and also her link to communicate. When we saw the videos of individuals using the Mac laptops and assistiveware and being able to independently write newsletters and blogs and doing artwork and accessing the internet, etc., this was very exciting that Kim could possibly use this with proper training. She could be able to start writing and even illustrating her own poetry using the Mac and assistiveware for the book that she would like to publish in the future. Though Kim's words are always her own, her goal is to one day become an independent typist to give her more freedom and to prove her abilities to others.
First, what do you do with a computer?
I type on my computer if I can. I like to type. I like to type poetry.
What would you like to do on your computer?
I want to be able to type more without help. Yes.
If you could use a computer to do artwork, would you?
Yes. 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 What? What do you like? It would be neat to design my own cards it would be neat to design my own cards on my laptop. Yes. I like to I like to write. Yes. I like to write poetry. I want to have pictures for my poems.
If you could create your own personal website displaying your art, poetry, ideas about life, favorite music, etc.
Would you like to have a website? Yes. Yes. You want to tell us something about that? I could put my poems. Yeah, you can put my poems and art on my website. Maybe I could sell them. One day I want to put my poems in a book. I want to Get it. I want to get it published. Okay.